Welcome to this scheduled regular council meeting of Monday, October 25th, 2021, which I am calling to order now. Good evening to our residents that are with us, actually watching us live through Comcast Channel 96, Frontier Channel 6032, or live stream through hartfordpublicaccesstv.org and Facebook Live. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Present.
Councilman Clark.
Here.
Councilman Gale.
Here.
Councilman LeBron.
Present.
Councilman Mitchum.
Here.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Here.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilman Sanchez.
Present.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And now our town clerk will lead us on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. I would like to make the motion that we approve the minutes of the October 12th, 2021 meeting.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I always like.
Mr. Clerk, Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we remove item 3.4 off of the consent calendar and place it under action.
Second.
That's second.
Which one?
Item
Yeah,
3.4.
can you just say which one it is?
Item 3.4 is the Mayor Bronin with a company resolution, company communication requesting to superimpose various names throughout the city as the following. And the following are, bear with me for 1 minute.
I'm ready.
The following is item number 1, resolution requesting to superimpose the name of Pearline Green to the intersection of Brook Street and Albany Avenue to the intersection of Brook Street and Guilford Street as
Maybe this
Wait, hold on.
Greenway. Item number 2, resolution requesting to superimpose the name of Jaquan Walters to the Rosemont Street and Main Street to the intersection of Rosemont Street and Cambridge Street as displayed as Jaquan J.Q. Walters Way. And item number 3 of this committee report, communication rather, is resolution requesting to approve superimposing the name of Dr. Craig J. Yenny, PhD Way on Vernon Street at the intersection of Vernon Summit to be displayed henceforth as Dr. Craig J. Yenny, PhD Way.
Thank you.
So just to what was the motion again?
The motion actually was to place it on action, but however, I would actually like to withdraw the motion to sever it so that we can take action on each of these individually.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any further discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place the following items on the consent calendar. Item communication, item 3.5, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution authorizing the transfer of $28,699 from the Sundry non-operating department to the Registrars of Voters Office for the Board of Education election in November 2021. Items 4.1 under reports is Public Works, Parks, Recreation, and Environment Committee with a company resolution requesting to approve superimposing the name of Dr. Craig J. Yenny, PhD Way on Vernon Street at the intersection of Vernon and Summit to be displayed henceforth as Dr. Craig J. Yenny, PhD Way. Reports 4.2, Public Works, Parks, Recreation, and Environment Committee with a company resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Hartford to accept a $2,070,000 in LoSIP funds. Report item 4.3, Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee with a company resolution authorizing the mayor to accept approximately $506,094 in grant funding from the state of Connecticut Department of Housing for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Report 4.4, Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee with the company resolution that the Court of Common Council does hereby designate the city of Hartford as a rehabilitation area in which eligible properties may take application under the Deferral Assessment Increase Program as established in Section 12-65C to 12-65F of the Connecticut General Statute. Report item 4.7. Report item 4.6, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee with a company resolution in support of establishing the Arts, Education, and Entertainment District, the district, and endorses the goals of economic vitality and enhancing community life through participating in the development and financial support of the Arts, Education, and Entertainment District. Report 4.7, Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee with a company resolution, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution authorizing the disposition of the following parcels to the Hartford Area Habitat for Humanity. Report item 4.8, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing and empowered as follows to apply for and accept the grant from the state of Connecticut in the amount of $10 million for the capital improvement of Batterson Park. Report item 4.8, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing and empowered as follows to apply for, item 4.10. Report item 4.10, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing the mayor, subject to review and approval of a term sheet for.
Nope.
Oh, that's not right. I don't know how 4.10 got there. I withdraw that. Thank you, Councilman Gale. We shall conclude on the consent calendar of item 4.8.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions?
Madam President,
Yes.
I wonder if on my count, item 4.12, 4.12 was intended to also be included.
That was, yes, instead of 10, it's 12. Item 4.12, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing to make the following transfers from the uncommitted fiscal year 2021 budget surplus for the Board of Education. And now that concludes the consent calendar items.
I second that motion too.
Motion has been made and properly second. Is there any further discussion on this motion? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilman Surgeon, Councilwoman, thank you.
Yes. Change.
Sorry. Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we refer the following items to the mentioned committees. Resolution 6.1, resolution to appoint Raul de Jesus to the Capital Region Council of Governments to be referred to the Operations Management and Government and Budget Accountability Committee. Communication 3.2, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution confirming the appointments of Andr nez-Franck, an alternate member, as a regular member of the city's Planning and Zoning Commission, and reappoints Gary Bazzano as a regular member and appoints Raul Irizarry as an alternate member to the Planning, Economic Development and Housing Committee. Communication item 3.3, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution confirming appointment of Susan Sarmiento and Leida Ramos to the Permanent Commission on the Status of Hartford Women. And also communication item 3.6, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution authorizing the city to enter into a new lease for approximately 1,618 square feet of office space located on the second floor at 175 Main Street in Hartford with the Hispanic Health Council Foundation Incorporated to house the Women and Infant Children WIC program for a term of 3 years with 2 one-year extension options to be referred to the Health and Human Services Committee. And item 3.6 does have a public hearing on Monday, November 15th at 7 p.m.
I second the motion.
Second,
The motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussion? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make a motion that we receive the following items. Communication 3.1, Public Works, Parks, Recreation, Environment Committee, communication concerning special event permits, applications, process, and activities for 2021. Communication item 3.7, Public Safety and Quality Life Committee with accompanying communication presentation from Chief Barco of the Hartford Fire Department. Communication 3.8, Public Safety and Quality Life Committee with accompanying communication presentation from Chief Fody of the Hartford Police Department. Report 4.9, Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee with accompanying report based on the city's unaudited year-to-date actuals as compared to the fiscal year 2021 adopted budget as amended. Report item 4.10, Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee with accompanying resolution authorizing the mayor to, subject to review and approval of a term sheet for the project, to enter into a purchase and sales agreement and ground lease with the development team of Wonderworks Construction Corp. Of 275 Pearl Street. Report item 4.11, Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee with the company resolution authorizing the mayor, subject to review and approval of a term sheet for the project, to enter into a development agreement and ground lease with the development team of Wonderworks Construction Corp. Of 525 Main Street and lease sale option for 17 and 21 Wells Street.
Second.
Not done yet. Now, that's okay. So there are, I need clarification through you, Madam President. There are 2 items on our agenda that are listed as 4.12. Could I consider the second one that I'm about to call as 4.13?
Correct, yes.
All right, item 4.13, Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee with ordinance amending Chapter 28, Article 9 of the Municipal Code of Hartford to align standing building committee for school building projects with State Law Special Act 01-7.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we postpone the following items until our next council meeting, which is November 8th, 2021. Report for item 4.5, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee with accompanying resolution for rental relief assistance support. And communication 3.4, item number 1, which is Mayor Bronin with accompanying communication requesting to superimpose the names throughout the city as the following. And this one is the renaming of the Pearline Greenway on Brook Street.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Councilman Josh Mitchum.
Thanks. Just so I'm clear, we're postponing Pearline Green, but the other two name changes we are in a moment going to vote on. I'm just trying to follow that whole part. Is that what is happening now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I to Councilman Mictum's point, I agree with Councilman Mictum. You called for item 4.5 to be postponed until November, so shouldn't we vote on that first before we go to 5.1? Is that what you're asking, Councilman Mictum?
Oh, no, I was just asking about the name changes because we started with all the name changes in one item and then we split them at the beginning and now we're postponing one. So I assume then we're going to vote on the other two. But to answer your question, Councilman Sanchez, yes, I would want that one to be postponed. Thank you. I was just unclear about the name changes. Are we going to vote on two and postpone one? I just want to be.
But we're not, point of order, Councilman Mitchum, we're not done yet. There has to be another motion made. So we'll get right back to your answer, okay?
Thank you.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. So just for clarity, I want to write this down. The motion is to postpone item 5.1, which is the school building construction. No, that's not the motion. We're on action now? No.
No.
Okay,
Sorry.
point of order, so that we're clear. Councilman Clark, could you please repeat the motion, please?
Sorry, I can't get off of mute. For clarification, the motion was made through the council president to postpone report item 4.5 and also to communication item 3.4, item number 1. There are within the committee report, there are 3 items that are listed. The first item that I called is to postpone 3.4 item 1, which is the Pearline Greenway.
Okay. Are we clear now?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second on this motion? Remember that when we first started this meeting, we put on action to sever district names, okay?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor that has been made and properly second. Are there any other discussions on this motion? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on communication item 3.4 with accompanying resolution communication requesting to superimpose various names throughout the city, which are items, the remaining items are Item item number 2, resolution requesting to superimpose the name of Jaquan Walters at the section of Rosemont Street and Main Street to the intersection of Rosemont and Cambridge Street to be named as Jaquan J.Q. Walters Way.
Councilman LeBron.
This has a second. I also want to make the distinction here that there was a motion at the Public Dedication Committee to recommend amending the current resolution to reflect naming indoor-outdoor basketball court at Parker Memorial Community Center, the J.Q. Walters Basketball Court, made by Councilwoman Surgeon.
But was that a motion?
So
Yes,
is that
that's a
your
motion, yes. Well,
Okay,
I'm repeating the motion that was a motion from the Public Dedication Committee.
that is correct, but point of order, is that the motion that you're making? And could you
Yes.
repeat your motion, please?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion in lieu and in concert with the Public Dedication Committee that a motion to recommend amending the current resolution to reflect naming indoor-outdoor basketball court at the Parker Memorial Community Center, the J.Q. Walters Basketball Court.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any other discussions? Councilman Sanchez.
Yes, so the amendment is so that it's more, so we can have a better clarification on this. It's not to superimpose the street, but to name the basketball court. Correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any other discussions? Councilman LeBron.
Yes, I'd just like to take a moment to reflect on this resolution. The original resolution was something that I put back in, but I want to just share with my colleagues here and the community and the folks that are listening. You know, I think we've heard at public meetings, public hearings, committee meetings, and council meetings previously, the impact that this young man has made in our community, the indelible impact that he had made on our community. You see his face on billboards. You continue to see events and community events for this young man. This young man really transcended both locally and statewide and also internationally. Special talent and a special charisma that really impacted a lot of people. But the point that I want to make here is that all these meetings, I myself have never seen an organic group of youth come together in such an impassioned way. 40 plus, I mean, we were at meetings for hours, listening to testimony from the people that he impacted, from professors to colleagues, to his friends and people that he mentored. And I just want to strengthen that because, you know, we live in a day and age where we ask for youth voice and young adult voice. And we had it, and this resolution had it, and it had such a tremendous impact. And I was spirited in, and as I speak here, I have goosebumps thinking about the amount of people that were involved in this. And so I want to thank that entire community for pushing me and pushing myself and pushing the entire city to help this. And I also wanted to thank my council colleagues, and I want to thank the administration and everyone here for having the moxie and the courage to put something like this through. This will make an impact, and I think not only for his name, but for future, to remember the holistic and all the things that landed at this place. So thank you to everyone involved. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman. Are there any further discussions on this resolution? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you call the roll on the amendment, please?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Abstain.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So we just voted on the amendment, and now, Mr. Clerk, if you could call the roll on the amended resolution.
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Abstain.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on communication item 3.4, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution, communication requesting to superimpose various names throughout the city as the following, and this one would be item number 3, which is resolution requesting to approve superimposing the name of Dr. Craig J. Yenny, PhD Way on Vernon Street at the intersection of Vernon and Summit to be displayed henceforth as Dr. Craig J. Yenny, PhD Way.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions on this resolution? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Misham, Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on item ordinance 5.1, ordinance amending chapter 28, article 9 of the Municipal Code of Hartford to align standing building committee for school building projects with state law special act 01-7.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Councilwoman Surgeon, followed by Councilman Clark.
Okay,
Sorry.
so just want to make sure that I know what I'm voting on. So the 5.1, so we are voting on yes or no for this ordinance. There was the original ordinance has been changed substantially. So is this going to go back to public hearing again? Could you explain the process for me, please?
A point of order, we are going to have someone, I believe Councilman Gale, make the amendment on this ordinance so that we can accept the amendment.
Okay, got you.
And once we do accept the amendment, then we can vote on it. As
So this is the original, so we're voting on the original ordinance.
Well, we're voting on the amendment
Okay,
that came out of committee. Once we vote on that amendment and it is passed, then we can take a vote and send it to public hearing because it's a substantial amendment.
thanks.
You're welcome. So we need that amendment on the floor. Councilman Gale?
I don't want to jump ahead of Councilman Clark, who you said was next in line, but I'm happy to do so if he's
No,
not present.
Councilwoman Surgeon actually was spoken what I was going to speak, so I yield my
Okay.
time to you.
Okay.
All right, so in which case, I make a motion that the ordinance as originally proposed on July 12th be amended in accordance with the amendment which is attached to the report that's part of our agenda. And I can summarize ever so briefly the substance of the amendment, which is to introduce into the appointment the appointment process for council appointing members to the school building committee by adding that one appointment in conjunction with the Board of Education should be somebody that's either from the Minority Construction Council or a minority contractor or a retired minority contractor, and that the school building committee should look to have at least one person on it that has substantial construction experience. I think that's a quick summary of the amendment. And I move that we amend it as in accordance with that language.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any further discussions? Any further discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Abstain.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Abstain.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'm going to defer to our Corporation Counsel, Howard. For point of clarification, so we have accepted the amendment version, and now we will do a roll call on the amended ordinance. And then would we do another motion to send it to public hearing?
Through you, Madam President. So at this point, you've adopted the amendment, and I would say that the amendment is substantial. So at this point, you would send it to public hearing. You would not vote on the underlying ordinance as amended at this point.
Okay, so Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, through you. So just to be clear, and this is for the public, what the Corporation Counsel said, that our action that just took place settles this item 5.1, and now it goes to a public hearing. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Councilman Gale?
In point of order, I think what we're really doing is now just postponing taking action on this until the public hearing has been had and it comes back to council.
And so the public hearing, then this item will be before the next public hearing committee on November 15th, correct?
Correct.
So we have no other items.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Councilman LeBron?
Yes, just a quick question. In terms of revising the language on this ordinance prior to the public hearing, if we revise the language on this at all, would the substantial marker have to be reassessed for it to go in front of public hearing? Or if we make any changes to what we currently voted to postpone onto the next public hearing, would that go into the next public hearing? So just a point of clarification for Corporation Counsel.
Through you, Council President, what you've done is you have adopted an amendment which has specific language attached to it. That will go to the public hearing in November. And then if the council wishes to make further changes following that public hearing at its next council meeting following the public hearing. Sorry if that's not clear. When it's back on the agenda following the public hearing, if members of the council wanted to make further amendments to the language, it would depend on what changes those amendments were and whether they were viewed as substantial changes or clarifications.
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Rifkin. So that concludes our meeting for this evening. Oh, Councilman Gale.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm a little confused. I don't know. Through you, Madam Chair, to the Corp Council, do we now need a motion to postpone this on this agenda, or does it just automatically go off tonight as a result of the amendment we just voted on?
through you, Council President, no, the action you took to adopt the amendment automatically sends it to a public hearing. You don't have to take further action tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, this meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a good night and thank you for joining us. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.